Whenever we look at a photographic image, we engage in a series of complex readings which relate as much to the expectations and assumptions that we bring to the image as to the photographic subject itself. Indeed, rather than the notion of looking, which suggests a passive act of recognition, we need to insist that we read a photograph, not as an image, but as a text. That reading, any reading, involves a series of problematic, ambiguous, and often contradictory meanings and relationships between the reader and the image. The photograph achieves meaning through what has been called a photographic discourse, a language of code which involves its own grammar and syntax. It is, in its own way, as complex and as rich as any written language, and involves its own conventions and histories. As Victor Bergen insists, the intelligibility of the photograph is no simple thing. Photographs are text inscribed in terms of what we may call photographic discourse. But this discourse, like any other, engages discourses beyond itself. The photographic text, like any other, is the site of a complex intertextuality, an overlapping series of previous texts taken for granted at a particular cultural and historical conjunction. This is a central statement as to how we read the photograph, as a text, and underlines the problematic nature of the photographic image as a both arbiter of meaning and trace of the real. And in a crucial way, it lays clear the extent to which any photograph is part of a larger language of meaning, which we may bring to our experience of the photograph. The photograph both mirrors and creates a discourse with the world, and is never, despite its often passive way with things, a neutral representation. Indeed, we might argue that at every level the photograph involves a saturated ideological context. Full of meanings, it is a dense text in which is written the terms of reference by which an ideology both constructs meaning and reflects the meaning as a stamp of power and authority. We need to read it as the site of a series of simultaneous complexities and ambiguities in which is situated not so much a mirror of the world as our way with that world. The photographic image contains a photographic message as part of a practice of signification, which reflects the codes, values, and beliefs of the culture as a whole. Its literalness, as such, reflects the representation of our way with the world, the site of a series of other codes and texts, of values and hierarchies which engage other